the magical circles in my eyeballs. Wow! Look at the magic in my eyes. Now I can't see. Hi guys, it's Courtney here with Lil Kitten Krafts, and today I'm going to be showing you what you need to start with epoxy resin casting. So let's check it out. All the products listed in this video are not sponsored and were purchased with my own money. A lot of it. Oops. So the first thing you need is safety, and with safety you need a respirator mask, because when epoxy is mixed before it's cured, it emits gases that are pretty dangerous. This is a 3M mask that has filters specifically for organic vapors. This is a very important tool to keep you safe when you are using resin. The next thing you need is gloves. Specifically, you want to go for nitrile or synthetic gloves, not latex, for two reasons. One, latex gloves and some resin are not friends, and they will in fact eat through the gloves to your soft, delicate little digits. Also, if you are selling your pieces and you are using latex gloves, there's a possibility that your customer might react to it. I got these from Costco in a massive kit, which I'm super excited about, but you can also get them on Amazon. The next thing you need is a safe place to do your resining. That includes a place with well ventilation and a place that you don't necessarily have emotional connection to being ruined, because it will inevitably happen that you will make a spill, and it will get on the floor, and it will get on your workstation, and it will get on your clothes. So always make sure that you are wearing clothes that you don't mind ruining, that you are wearing an apron to protect yourself, and that you have a mat down. Now you can use a trash bag, but I prefer to use silicone mats. They're easy to clean up and reusable, so they're better for the environment. The next thing that obviously you're gonna need if you are casting with resin is the resin with which to cast. I've tested a lot of resins, and I find that Let's resin is my favorite for casting. When mixed, it is relatively thin so that any air bubbles that might happen when you're mixing can work out of it. It's really hard cast, so when you're doing things like casting keychains that need to be resilient, it has a nice hard cast so it won't get damaged, dented, things like that while jangling along with the keychains. When you mix your epoxy resin, you of course need something to mix it in. You can use any kind of measuring cup, plastic, whatever. I prefer silicone measuring cups. They're reusable, they're cleanable, and they're better for the environment and better for my wallet. There are several different sizes of measuring cups. This is a big honka-chonk 500 milliliter one. Then this is a little 100 milliliter one. And once you get it mixed, you might want to divide it into even smaller things to color different colors or add different glitters. So you can use these little medicine cup shot glass things that are silicone and so easy to clean, or you can use pee cups. These are for urine samples, and they are disposable, super cheap, and really handy because they are a little bit bigger than these, which I find to be a size that I'm missing. So I like to use these when I want a little more than this, but less than this. And when you mix them, you of course need mixing sticks. Now, my favorite kind of sticks is the silicone sticks because, again, reusable, better for the environment. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to. You can use popsicle sticks, skewers, medicine sticks. This is just a foundation brush, silicone foundation brush, which you can find on Amazon. And it really is handy when you're trying to spread resin over a thin area, because this is kind of more of a chunky piece. So this gets a nice thin layer. Or if you're trying to do smaller details, you can use the smaller silicone brushes. Or again, a skewer to get in those really hard to reach places. When you're using resin, you can use several additives to make the resin a different color than the clear color it is. You can use resin dye, which makes it all one color and translucent, or you can use alcohol ink. The difference between resin dye and alcohol ink is that the alcohol ink doesn't really mix well with the resin, but it can do really cool effects, like if you have seen the Petri dish effect, or you can even drop it in before you pour the resin to get an entire different abstract look to your color scheme. I prefer, when I am using alcohol inks, to either use Let's Resin or Pinata brand alcohol ink. The thing I love about Pinata is they have really cool metallic alcohol inks, and when you put it in the resin, it looks like magic. With the resin dyes, I pretty much stick to Let's Resin. I find that it mixes really well, and it's got a good amount of payoff for the color, but also has a good amount of translucency. Something else you can add to resin is acrylic paint. I don't use it because if I want an opaque colored look, I'm gonna go with mica powder. Mica powder is another form that you can use, and by mica powder I generally mean any kind of powder, really. Mica powder specifically is gonna have a shimmery, sometimes color shift appearance, so that you can get an opaque color with a bit of, I'm not gonna say glitter because we're gonna go into glitter because I'm a glitter goblin, but it's like a shimmery thing. It's basically the eyeshadow of resin, though you can in fact use eyeshadow in your resin. But powders can come in all different types. This is a glow in the dark powder. This is a color shift mica powder. This is a metallic powder from Let's Resin. And this, believe it or not, is a powder that you can use to actually go on top of your nail polish. Specifically, gel top coat works great with this, and it turns your nails holographic. But it also works to turn your pieces holographic. You just brush it into the mold and you get a beautiful holographic appearance. I like to use an eyeshadow applicator, but you can use your finger or anything else really. But you just brush it into the mold and suddenly you have a beautiful holographic face to your resin piece. Wow. The other thing you can add to your resin is glitter, and I love glitter so much. It is glitter time, my dudes. Glitter is one of my passions, and I have a fair amount of it. I've seen people that have more. I want to be those people. I aspire to be those people. My favorite types of glitter are iridescent and holographic in any shape and size. And color change is also super fun. So the differences are, this is a color shift iridescent, whereas this is a holographic. Look at all the magical rainbows. These are microfine glitters, but you can also get glitter in medium fine. You can get it in flamingo. You can get it in stars. You can get it in mixes of chunky and fine. The sky's the limit, guys. Glitter is everything. Glitter is life, and I love glitter. Holographic is my favorite though, because look at the majesty that is the color shifty rainbow flare glitterness. It's so magical. Wow. Another thing you need for resin is a heat gun. Heat guns have multiple uses. This is my big Chonkalonka heat gun, but I've also had a small heat gun, which you can start with a small one, and that's fine. The heat gun can heat up the resin so that bubbles can easily escape from the resin so it doesn't stay in your piece. The only time bubbles are bad is when it's on the edges of your piece and it causes a rough spot. This can also help you mix colors or even use attachments and make waves, which is super cool on the beach looking ones. When doing epoxy resin casting, you need a mold to cast into. Now, you can make your own molds by using silicone or even hot glue, but I prefer to buy my molds because honestly, I've tried making molds before and it wasn't good. So the molds available range in all different kinds, shapes, sizes, and purposes. This is actually an ice cube mold, and it works just fine because it's still a silicone mold and it makes cool little diamonds. This is a seashell box mold and opens up like a box. This is a journal mold so that you can make faces for journals. This is a large safety keychain in the shape of a fox. This is a really cool just little alien kitty cat. Or you can even make little tokens to give to friends. This one's a hug token, which has been really popular with people who are neurodivergent and also people who are just worried about, you know, what's going on in the world. That which we shall not name. Or you can even get large sheet molds that have multiple molds on them, like this one, which has all of my small safety keychains in one convenient mold. Another mold that I like to use, and this is just a gummy bear candy mold made of silicone. But here at Lil Kitten Krafts, we don't like wasted resin. It makes us sad. So whenever I have extra resin, I just yeet it into one of these little bear molds. And then I have little freebies to give away with my orders. Once your piece is cured and done, you're going to demold it. And when you demold it, you might have over pour, you might have little rough areas, or even edge bubbles. All of that is fine because you can fix that pretty easily. All you have to do when you have a rough edge is just use a sanding block. And make sure that you're also wearing a mask because inhaling resin dust is bad. But using a sanding block can help you clean up your piece and make it safer for your customer if you're going to sell it, or whomever you're going to gift it to. And also, it can fix any mild imperfections that bother you. After you do your resining, you got to clean it up, unfortunately. Or make someone else do it.
That's my job.
Yeah. Some of the tools that we use to clean up after resining is alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol, 91 and above, works great for cleaning up all kinds of alcohol ink spills, resin dye spills. Also, if it's 91 and above, you can actually use it in your piece to make the alcohol ink get a splattered look, which is super cool. Another thing that we use a lot is lint rollers. Lint rollers are basically just big rolls of tape with the sticky side on the outside. And it is super handy because anytime you have a glitter explosion or you have little jittibits of foam or resin, you can scoop it up with your lint rollers and keep on keeping on. So that's the stuff that I use in epoxy resin casting. I hope that this is helpful to you guys if you're looking to start your own journey into epoxy resin. If you like what you saw and want to see more, sprinkle your loving touches onto the subscribe button, the like button, and even the notification bell so you know when the next time I post is. Holographically love it to the moon and back. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! I hope this video really helped you guys with... I really hope that everything that went...